Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds, and today we're ranking some commanders.
It's every commander ranked from D&D Commander.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds, telling you I'm once again asking you to go to the TCG Player link in the description, where you can find all sorts of cards that you can buy with no discount. But guess what? We get a kickback on the order, and you spend nothing extra. So it's a way to support the channel for free. Also, head over to the Patreon. You can support us for not free, for money, and we'll really appreciate it.
Yes, we will greatly appreciate it. So let's hop into this video. We're ranking every single commander from the new D&D Commander set. BZ, what are the 5 things we rank them on?
Yeah, we've ranked every commander of all time, so you can check out the link to the spreadsheet, which is in the description. These ones are going to be ranked just like every other one on a scale of 1 to 10 for power, fun, artwork, coolness, and uniqueness. All 5 factors which contribute to playability as a commander. Then totaled up to a score out of 50, and then placed appropriately into the overall list of the 1,200 commanders that are legal.
Yes, so let's hop right into it with the first one. We got Caddy Bree of Mithril Hall. Green and the white for a 2/2, first strike and reach. Whenever Caddy Bree of Mithril Hall attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it for each equipment attached to it. Pay 1, remove all +1/+1 counters from her. It deals X damage to target attacking or blocking creature and opponent controls, where X is the number of counters removed this way. Get this piece of crap out of here.
This card really just doesn't do anything. There's nothing to talk about. The only thing I want to mention real quick is that she hung out with Drizzt. She was Brunor's daughter, and she was reincarnated in terms of lore, but she's got nothing else going for her.
Yeah, this card is just bad. It's bad, 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 and I think it's bad. So moving on, what do we have, BZ?
Next is Storvald, Frost Giant Jarl, coming in at 742 overall, above Rakdos, below Haktos. Rakdos Haktos combo. 4 and a Bant, first 7/7 giant. It has ward 3 and it gives your other creatures ward 3. When it enters or attacks, you either make something a 7/7 until end of turn, or you make something a 1/1 until end of turn. Yeah, this is the power. Actually, most of it comes from this thing being a 7/7 and maybe making something else a 7/7, because it does very little. It looks like it has a lot of words, but it has very few words on it.
Yeah, it just kind of switches creatures to either be big or small. If you like that, sure, do it, but I don't think it's very good.
This is so close to a vanilla to me. I'm just not interested too much. I mean, he planned to find the Ring of Winter to usher in a new ice age, and he hunts whales. I like the hunting whales part.
Sure, and this is going to be a quick thing about art. The art is a 4 through a 7. That's about average. We're not going to talk about that too much. If it's higher, we'll talk about it. If it's lower, we'll talk about it.
Definitely. Who is the following person?
It's Gaelia, Kindler of Hope. It's above Hazazon, Tamar, and below Adelise, the Cinder Winder, at 715. 1 green, white, blue, legendary creature, Elf Knight, 4/4. Vigilance. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast auras and equipment spells from the top of your library. When you cast an equipment spell this way, it gains, when this equipment enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. It's a nice little card advantage. Your deck's going to be hyper-focused on playing equipment and auras. But one of the main issues here is in order to play that many equipment and auras, you have to go lower on creatures. And then when you're going low on creatures, you have nothing to put the equipment and auras on.
Maybe you want to stack some living weapons in your deck. This card is fun, though. This has a ton of different stuff. It lets you go Voltron, but you kind of don't even care what you have. You don't need equipments or auras. You just play both and then just start casting them off top of your deck. I like this card.
Yeah, it's a pretty good card. It's a lot of card advantage to be had with this card. Tell us a quick lore.
Some quick lore. She brings light wherever she goes, and I guess they didn't bother writing much else. Two. Stinks on ice for the lore. Wish we had something a little cooler. Bringing light's kind of cool. I could see this going all the way up to a 3 if it was. Bring her with you into a cave.
Yeah, that makes sense. Why would you not?
I think it's a metaphorical light, but
shut up.
Whatever.
I don't care. I'd bring her with me into a cave.
Let's follow that up with Nylahor. It's above Thresta and below Felden of the Third Path, sitting at number 463. 2 and an Esper for a 3/5 horror. When it enters the battlefield, for each opponent, tap up to 1 untapped creature you control. Then when you do, you gain control of target creature that player controls with power less than or equal to the tapped creature's power for as long as you control Nihilor. Whenever you attack with a creature that isn't yours, you gain 2 life and that player loses 2 life. It wants you to tap 3 of your creatures on ETB. Then, if they're bigger, you steal 3 opposing creatures. Then when you attack with them, you get a nice little drain bonus. I think this is all right.
I think it is pretty good, and there's a lot of card advantage to be gained from taking their creatures, especially when you have sack outlets. The weirdest thing about this card, honestly, is that I have never seen a card that has a bigger target for removal ever. I'll take one of everyone's creatures. Everyone's like, no, I want that back. So it's not that makes this card worse, but it definitely paints a huge target on it.
Well, I think if you have sack outlets, it makes this card better.
Definitely.
Because it's a big target for removal. What are you going to do? Kill it? All right, sacrifice your 3 creatures. They're gone. Now it's in my command zone. I'm just going to do it again next turn.
Yeah, it's fun there. I think it would be unfun to play against because you're going to get your best stuff stolen a lot. And it's like, stop taking my thing. I need it. I put it in my deck. You didn't put it in your deck.
Yeah, it lets you really... You could steal everyone else's commander at once if you want. Nice decks you got. So that's why it's only a 7 out of 10. 5 of the fun points go to your opponent. You want your opponent to have fun too.
Yeah. What is the little lore?
The little blurb is he worked for Xanathar, the blue-black beholder, and he makes those little intellect devours, the brains with legs.
I love that.
Apparently he just makes them and just sends them loose into the sewers.
Go, my brains. Go.
My minions.
All right. Hopping up to the next one, we have Min Wily Illusionist above Nyambi and below Shvalin of Sea and Sky. 1 blue for a 1/3 legendary creature, gnome wizard. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 blue illusion creature token with this creature gets +1/+0 for each other illusion you control. Whenever an illusion you control dies, you may put a permanent card with mana value less than or equal to that creature's power from your hand onto the battlefield. Okay, so drawing a second card on turns is not hard. Plus, you can just go ahead and pass the turn and, play your instants to get them. This card can quickly get out of hand and make a ton of really powerful flyers to start, and that's already strong. Now, when one dies, you can just start putting like crazy big things into play.
See, here's what I'm thinking. I don't even care too much about attacking and winning that way. You could play this as like a dirtily control deck. Someone goes to attack you, you go, okay, Inspiration or whatever card, Blue Sun Zenith, make a token, then just jump with it and throw a land out.
I think that the attacks are going to be more relevant than you might think, because I really think these get baked pretty fast. You just keep doing. Your whole goal is going to be to do it on every player's turn.
Yeah.
So if you can really get this going and the engine going, all of a sudden you have 4 ones, and Jordan tapping with 4 ones, which 16 damage in the air, and that just keeps going up. It demands answers quickly, and if this gets big and you can protect your commander like a boots or something, all of a sudden a board wipe just lets you drop a ton of more stuff into play.
Yeah, maybe you just wait for a board wipe or you have some kind of sack outlet in your deck to where you go, if somebody goes nuclear and tries to blow everything up, I'll just sack, put 4 islands out, draw 2 cards. Like,
yeah, I think that the tough part about building this deck, I think it's super fun. The toughest thing about building this deck is just going to come down to the fact that you have to find the balance between the permanents you want to put in play and the instant and sorceries that are going to draw you the cards.
Ideally, you can find permanents that draw you 2 cards, but those are few and far between.
Yes, exactly. Very cool art. I love this art. She's riding like a wolf, I think.
A bear?
A bear.
And she's got one of those little intellect devours.
But it's an illusion version of it. She made it like out of the illusion. So that's really cool.
Right. So we like that. Cetria of the Hidden Ways we have at 397. She's above Balthor and below Arden. Esper for a 2/3 human wizard. Whenever 1 or more creature cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, venture into the dungeon. But you can only trigger it once per turn. And it has Create Undead. Whenever you complete a dungeon, you get to reanimate a creature from your graveyard. This is like the dungeon commander. If you're dungeoning, it's with this. You get all the cards from the set because Esper are the dungeon colors, and you get the commander cards, and boom. You've got an actual playable, fun...
This is the go-to dungeon commander, as BZ said. It's nothing crazy. I think there's a lot of fun to be had here, but dungeons aren't super strong. There's only 3 of them, and there's not a lot of unique things to do in there.
This gives you an amazing way to actually pay off venturing into a dungeon. You have the middle dungeon, on whatever it's called, that once you venture through 4 times, you get to draw a card, and boom, just reanimate something. So you could, every turn, reanimate a creature. And that's not game-breaking, but it's a 3-mana card that's letting you do it. You're getting effects the whole way through. You're drawing cards. This just looks like it's actually going to put card advantage on venturing.
I mean, I'm going for the big one. I'm always going to be going for the big one.
Go for Mad Mage. You want that Omniscience ability.
Yeah, that draw 3 Omniscience, one of the cards. I really like that. The art, very good. It just looks great.
Ryan Pankos is amazing.
Ryan Pankos
top tier.
Definitely a great artist. And this is a very unique card. It is the Dungeon Commander, and it's effective at being the Dungeon Commander.
The uniqueness actually matters.
It does. It does matter. It's not even that strong, but the uniqueness matters.
What we got next?
We have Verandis, Rage of Ancients, above Rubinia and below Cody at 367. 3 red green for a 5/4 legendary creature, Dragon Barbarian. Enrage. Whenever he's dealt damage, you may create a 5/4 red green dragon spirit creature token with, when this creature deals damage, sacrifice it. Whenever you roll 1 or more dice, you may have him deal 1 damage to itself. Okay, so we're going to be looking to enrage this thing a lot, get them all pumped up, make a lot of dudes, swing them in, then they're gone. But they did their thing, they got some damage in.
He sort of makes lava axes.
Yeah, he does. You just want to attack and they're out of here. You want to be rolling dice, so do some of that.
I like that you don't even have to. You just don't even need to roll dice. You could just play like Ryle and just cantrip and have that as a more reliable way. Or you can go the fun, janky, like die rolling way to just have him start pinging himself off. This card's pretty good. It makes a lot of power. I mean, it's a 4 out of 10. It's right about the average.
Yeah, it's nothing crazy, but it does things. It definitely does some strong things.
And it's unique. I like this.
Yes, it seems like a very fun card. I love using all the ways to like ping them and get some 5/4s, hit people with those 5/4s, then they're out of here. They don't even care. Those 5/4s they're done.
Don't even worry about it.
Yeah. The art. Oh, he looks so good. He's a dragon
Barbarian.
Barbarian. Don't mess with him. I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't mess with any dragon.
Yeah.
But I definitely wouldn't mess with a humanoid dragon.
Mess with like a 6'6" dragon with an axe. Like,
yeah. And if I hurt him, he creates a copy of himself. I don't want to deal with that.
No, I really don't want to deal with that. In the game or in real life. Cloth, Unrivaled Ancient. He's number 351 in the grand scheme of things, above Cherix and below Lyra Dawnbringer. 5 red green for a 4/4 with flying and haste. When it attacks, you add X mana in any combination of colors, where X is the total power of attacking creatures. Spend this mana only to cast spells. Until end of turn, you don't lose it as steps and phases end. All right, this is just a buttload of mana. Too much mana. You can go infinite with well, you can't go infinite, but you can go finite and just kill people with extra combat spells. Can't use abilities. We already talked about this a fair bit, so let's leave the power aside and talk about how cool this is.
This is an extremely cool card. It just makes so much mana, and because you can make so much mana, there's so much different routes to go with this. It doesn't care about necessarily casting any specific kind of spell. This has to be spells. So have big, giant X spells in your deck so you can get in, do a huge thing, and then maybe cast like a Genesis Wave for like a ton and go crazy.
Just end the game on the spot with some kind of crazy X spell. I like the lore is okay. Basically, he's a jerk, lives super long, apparently impressively long for a dragon that doesn't choose to be a lich when it dies. I guess that's a thing that dragons can do, but he succumbed to Draco Rage Mythal and he went berserk.
What's that mean?
I don't know, but it seemed okay.
Oh, okay.
It seemed like middle of the road for D&D.
Yeah, he's a cool dragon. He looks pretty good in the art flying around. And we're just going to move on to the next one because he's great. Kirazakar, the Eye Tyrant, above Lorshiel, below King Makar. 3 black red for a 5/5 legendary creature, Beholder. Whenever you attack a player, tap target creature that player controls and goad it. Whenever an opponent attacks another one of your opponents, you and the attacking player each draw a card and lose a life. All right, I'm picking up what you're putting down here. This is a 5/5. It attacks well. You tap down their best blocker. That blocker that was the best blocker now has to be their attacker at another player. You're both going to draw cards. You're just going to get more card advantage than anybody out of this, obviously. So this card is a 5. It is strong. Don't be confused and think 5 is like weak. No, this is a strong Magic card.
Yeah, 5, while it is the middle between 0 and 10, 0 is like nothing and 10 is like stupid. So I think this is just like, it is a good Magic card. That means it's about average for what the commanders we have are. Just the maximum amount of fun. Whether or not you can goad things, your opponents are still going to send maybe other things too to get you to draw, so they can draw more cards and you can draw more cards. You can draw potentially 2, 4, 6 cards in a turn cycle.
Yeah, and any other goad cards that you potentially... it definitely works well with goading. So you can just play the cards that goad, like Havoc Razor.
Disrupt Decorum.
Yeah, there's tons of cards that do the goading and do it efficiently. So you can do that. His art's all right. I think the thing that makes me sad is that the other Beholder, the Xanathar, is awesome. He looks amazing. The art is in a great perspective of like what he is and what he does. This one's just floating there.
They're sexy shirtless guys.
And he's like textureless. That also makes me sad. It's like why is he textureless? I don't know.
I don't know either. This I will say I expected a teensy bit more out of just everything in general with this particular batch of commanders. I mean, we're in the good ones now. These are all good. Just like the art was a little and the lower cards are like real bad, but they were designed specifically for this to be good, so I'm not sure what was going on. But Kirazakar, rock solid, kind of like a new archetype, red, black, goat.
Yeah, really cool. I really like him. Give the little story very quickly.
Oh yeah, he's arrogant, hateful, paranoid, and he was killed by a party because they were seeking an eye of a beholder. Not because he's a scumbag, jerk face, but just because some party needed it. Apparently this is a common theme because we had that with the other dragon.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, dude. They need something cool.
To be fair, I mean D&D is strongly revolved around combat. You got to go fight things.
Well, it's not like he, there's not like an action, right? Like he took the gem from Blipazon and now they have to go get it and they killed him. It's like,
Not Blipazon.
They just kind of killed him.
I can't believe that. Blipazon?
That's going to be the next commander. Wizards is listening to this and they're like, we should have thought of Blipazon.
Blipazon.
Such a good name.
That's a great name.
Prosper Tomebound is also a different name. 2/22 above Tazri, below Niv Mizzet. 2 black-red for a 1/4 death touch. Mystic Arcanum at the beginning of your end step. Exile top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you can play it. Pact Boon. Whenever you play a card from exile, create a treasure token. This is a spicy meatball. It's not the strongest card in the world. It only makes treasures and casts you 1 spell per turn. But my god, this is super fun. And it lets you do some weird stuff.
This card is so awesome. I love it.
I don't want to spoil too much because this is going to be one of the precon power-ups. It's going to be the first one. And I can tell you, Cascade, Foretell, Suspend, Rebound. There's a lot of ways to do this stuff.
I mean, I think this card's just great. I'm a huge fan of this card. And not only this card itself, the deck has so many cards in that I want to play. Great design space. Great. One of my favorite commander decks I've ever seen. I took a look at it and it's just like, I love this commander deck. I would play it straight out of the box. I like it.
Yeah, this would, I mean, I got to imagine kind of scanning the precons and building this one first. This has got to be the number one.
Yeah.
The Bant one, have you seen those commanders?
Yeah, 10 out of 10 for fun. And uniqueness, 9. It cares about casting cards from exile. And on top of that, it makes treasures when you do that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of overlap too. So maybe you'll see that in some of our deck.
Yeah, I'm a big, just overall, I'm a big fan of this guy. Art's good. This card is probably my favorite, my personal favorite commander from the whole set.
Yes. So let's get on to the second best commander from D&D AFR commander. It's Wolfgar of Icewind Dale. You know Icewind Dale. He's a great guy. Number 130 above Hans Eriksson and below Gyruda. 3 red green for a 4/4 human barbarian. He's got melee. If a creature you control attacking would cause a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, well, guess what? It triggers an additional time. So this is a pretty strong card. There's some stuff you can do, and it'll trigger immediately because you play him and then attack and then get your double triggers. But this is like the most likable looking person ever.
I think this card is just strong. I mean, he can grow himself by 6 just through combat. Oh, no, he can, what?
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, it's a double trigger. So it doubles the trigger. Yeah, so you can just grow himself by 6 through combat. That's already a nice, strong attacker.
Solid 10-10.
Solid 10-10. And like, if you have any other things on the board, which, I mean, you're building for this, I can't think of too many. Like, we haven't done this pre-con power up yet. We haven't built it yet. But I feel like there is a ton of things to work with here.
Yeah, you could almost switch out the V-Dragon Barbarian for this guy and get something pretty wacky. Maybe he might make the deck, maybe not, but this card is an awesome standalone, which is how we grade these. 9 for art too, because he's like enthralling Victor levels of hot.
It looks very good, and on top of that, he's a handsome dude.
I just want to shake this guy's hand like, he looks so likable. I want to be in this guy's inner circle. So he was in prison for 6 years. He helped out Drizzt and that gang. But he's generally like, they said he's like really attractive. He's super strong, and he's just a nice person.
He's just Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
This might be the closest we'll ever get.
He's pretty much. I mean, he's
from what I'm hearing,
super strong and super nice. That's The Rock.
And, it also said he accepts any movie role at all that they offer him.
Oh, see, I knew it was The Rock
with no standards whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely zero standards. I thought he was a little different from The Rock. He's exactly The Rock from D&D.
He's gonna star in the upcoming Pong movie.
All right, the best commander from this set. We have Lorcan, Warlock Collector, above
Asmarano, Marnica, Dason, Kaldakar,
and below Maelstrom Wanderer at 126. 5 black for a 6/6 legendary creature, Devil. Flying. Whenever a creature card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, you may pay life equal to its mana value. If you do, put it onto the battlefield under your control. It's a Warlock in addition to its other types. If a Warlock you control would die, exile it instead. All right, nice. This card is very strong. I want to just say right away something I said before. Set it up. get it going, have the board prepared for this man to come out. And if you do, you will get infinity value.
Yes, and as your commander, you can always do that. So they're going to be shaking in their boots for when you just mess them up. This is super fun. I think you might lose one because you're stealing their one fun point because you're stealing their cards, but don't worry about it too much. I like the art. He looks menacing. I like that he's a classic red devil, just like beat red.
Yeah, he's old school devil.
Old school D&D devil. And for lore, he's a pretty bad dude. He made a pact with Farida. We talked about who is she making pacts with? Apparently, this guy.
Why did you choose a woman named Frida?
I think her sister summoned him, but he chose to make a pact with the other one anyway. But he had a full total 13, which is he has collected and captured one descendant from each of the first Tiefling warlocks, which is apparently that's like a thing. You can get I got one of the total 13. Apparently, there's 13 of them, so they have a bunch of descendants. And if you capture one of each of their descendants,
what's that do?
It's a collection.
You just collect them?
He collects warlocks. It's in his name.
I gotta collect them all.
Gotta catch them all. He caught all of the total 13. Which I just thought was kind of funny.
It's also the 13. It's an unlucky number.
Oh.
It is pretty darn unique though. It's when there is cards that when creatures die, they end up on your battlefield. But you pay life here. It makes them warlocks, and also, it's strong because it can be a commander. That's one of the biggest strengths of this card.
Yeah, is there a way to remove the warlock type? Because then you can just get the same creature over and over with its own death trigger.
Yeah, this card.
So I just what? I can't think of a way to do it. I don't know what Conspiracy says. I think it says in addition, but if not, oh boy.
There's definitely certain ways to remove it, but I can't think of an effective one. Tell us the most effective one in the comments.
Yeah, let us know, because that's going to make this thing go infinite real easy.
Yes, but that is our video. Special shout outs to all of our patrons. Love you all as much as we can without making you uncomfortable. You guys are the poopy babies. You support the channel every single day, and you made our dreams come true, and you're making them come true again. Keep them coming. We love you all. Thank you again.
Yeah, shorter video today. We only had 12 commanders to work with. So if you like our videos and stuff, go to the TCG player link where you can buy cards that you were probably going to purchase regardless. Once you do that, it's all over for us. We're just gonna bask in the extra money that you've given us out of not even your own pocket, and that's just the best way to live life.
Is that the best way to live life?
Name a better way. I'm going to go right to a fallacy. Name a better way.
I can name a better way. By going to our Patreon and giving us money there.
Whoa!
That's a better way to live life.
Yeah, it is. Go check it out, and maybe you'll win the lottery the next day. But, not because of us.
Yeah, and if you want to join our Discord, go ahead, click on the link down below, and join that Discord and come hang out.
As AJR once sang.
Did they?
Come hang out. It's one of their songs.
Wow.
Tidbit. Joe doesn't know that Coming Out is an AJR song.
I know, and I like AJR a lot. They're one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, you may have noticed, very privy viewers may notice that we've recorded 4 videos in a row. This being the third, so you don't even know that the next one is I'm going to be in the same shirt. It's not a dirty shirt. It's just the same day for us.
He's been wearing that for 6 days.
So have you. What do you got this on? You got the Coca-Cola shirt.
No, this is a new shirt.
You have 4 Coca-Cola shirts.
I have lots of Coca-Cola shirts.
All right, I have nothing else to say. We'll promise a better tidbit next time.
Is there something scrolling? I don't know. I always want to be safe.
I think we're good.
It's so big.
Probably just drag it out.
Oh,
like, comment, subscribe, high five your uncle, and we can go home.
Yeah, that's the end of the video. So peace out, Tribe Scout.